So just let me know. Now is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, we finished the technical interview. Okay, technical interview, like I had briefly explained. So this focuses more on the kind of skill, okay, and focuses on problem solving and creativity. That means it is more focused on the type of skill. The questions aims at your problem solving skills and likely show your ability and creativity in a particular field, okay. Sometimes these interviews will be on a computer module and multiple choice questions. So it is mainly to do with your area of work. So that is called technical interview. Okay. So you have any questions on the types of interviews?
Can you explain the technical interview again?
Okay, technical interview is mainly for the specific roles. Okay, like how I explained to you yesterday, you remember skill-based screening? Skill-based screening, wherein we call people and we give them a particular module on the screen and ask them to
Yes.
work on it, right? So that is technical, that is specific to a certain role, to check on their ability and to check on their creativity, how good are they in their particular roles, okay, in the specific duties, like data entry I gave you, like I told you about the tally thing, okay, even for VFX, right, you know these VFX movies, the not the anime, you can say animation also, VFX, like Pirates of the Caribbean, Life of
Okay.
Pi, right, which involves a lot of effects, okay. So for those people also, those people are called artists. So there are different departments like roto prep and there are a lot of departments that are involved in their work. So if anybody comes for an interview, they are given a computer system, given a particular module, and they are asked to show their work, like whatever they know. So testing them on particular skills is a technical interview. Okay. HRs generally don't have a technical interview. Okay, when you're sitting for an interview, HRs generally don't have any technical interview to go through. Okay, but roles like an engineer or an artist or an accountant who needs to have knowledge on tally, so for them technical interviews will be conducted. Okay, so now we come to the question of what is the need for an interview. Okay, why do we have interviews? In the first slide itself, we try to understand what is the meaning of an interview. It is generally what? It is a conversation between the interviewer and interviewee to gather information, okay, and check the abilities, what all abilities and skills the interviewee has. So the definition itself tells us the need for an interview. However, to discuss more in detail, I'll just go through these points for you, okay? So the need for an interview is to judge the overall personality of the candidate. Now, overall personality means what? Like you just go and sit there, you see another person, okay, so this girl is wearing this, okay, she has nice hair and she looks beautiful. Is it that? No.
No.
Right? So during an interview, overall personality means whether that person is suitable for that role or not. Okay, like for example, we are hiring for the role of a client relationship manager. Okay, so what do you think is the basic requirement? Client relationship means you are continuously interacting with clients. You are the face of the company, right, for the clients. So what do you think the personality type should be? What is the basic expectation of the candidates being interviewed for that role?
Communication.
Okay. Yeah. And yes, Suman?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, right? But when it comes to overall personality, so personality means what? You knowledge is something when you start talking to that person, you will understand. When you ask questions, when you probe for questions, then you will understand on the knowledge, right? But when you try to check on the personality, what would you check on for a client relationship manager?
Confidence.
Yes, confidence level.
the
Able
way
to
he
convince.
or she dresses up.
Yeah. So what would you call that terminology? How well they dress up. So we have a certain terminology that we use. Presentability.
Presentation.
Presentability.
Presentability. So it's not only about how expensive clothes. Okay, it just means how well you are presenting yourself to the client. So it should be clean, it should be crisp, it should be neat and tidy, right? So it should be a very presentable kind of a look. So that is called presentability. At the same time, the way you talk. Okay, how are you presenting about your company? How are you presenting your company to the client? Okay, how are you sitting? How are you talking? Are you too casual? Are you too formal? Okay, what is the main requirement of the job? So according to that, you will have to judge. But you might not have to judge in the same way for a person who is doing a back end job. Would you consider so much of personality check on somebody who's doing the payrolling or who's just sitting for accounts? Would you do so much of personality check?
No.
No. So because the role does not demand that much, right? So what I'm trying to say is, depending on the role, you need to judge on a candidate's personality, overall personality, and also how the willingness of the person to do that particular role. Some people just come in for a time pass, for a short term of period, right? And they are not too serious on what they want. So all those checks we will have to do during the interview. Okay. Second point, to know whether you're able to perform the required job or not. So whether you are able to perform, like how Suman said, we need to check on their knowledge, right? So until and unless you do not have the required knowledge for a particular job, will you be able to do it? No. So why do they ask in certain roles, they ask for experienced people, like how you guys were telling me yesterday, right? For in order to function as an HR, some companies ask for experience, right? Why do they ask? Because of the level. So it depends on the level at which they are hiring a person. If they are open to freshers, they're open to training freshers, then they will welcome freshers. If it's an independent role where there is no other person to guide you and train you, they will look for a experienced person. So we will have to check in these ways their skills and knowledge, whether they're able to perform the required job or not. Okay. Then to judge the skills and attributes which are mentioned in the CV. So sometimes what happens, people just to get a job, they mention a lot of things in their CV. I have come across such people many times. And when you really start asking them questions about it, they don't know. Okay, so what happens is we generally post the job description in the advertisement that we give out, right? To attract talent, we mention the job description. You should have these skills, you should be educated at this level, and blah blah blah. We give all that, and in order to get that job, people manipulate their CVs. Okay, so they write down all that, and then the CV gets shortlisted. Finally, when you come and ask them about the points that they've written in the CV, they don't know anything about it. Okay, so just don't go by what is written in the CV. You will have to thoroughly check whether they really know these things or not. Okay, so apart from your knowledge, your ability and capacity to the job, what all qualities do you have, okay, that can contribute to the organization? So we'll have to check on all that also. Okay, how good a contribution can you be to the company? So we'll have to check on those areas also. Then you'll have to find out what motivates you, how well do you communicate. So communication is not just speaking in English, right? What is communication, guys? As per your understanding, what is communication?
Better articulation of what you are presenting or what you want to say.
Right. Shobna?
It's like to convey information so that the receiving person can draw its meaning.
Right. In the same sense, in which you want them to understand, right? You should understand in the same sense, and you should be able to communicate or convey the message in the most effective manner so that the message that you want to give is understood clearly. Right? Whether you're a very fast speaker, you're a very impatient person, you're unable to make somebody else understand what you're trying to say, all that we need to check. Okay, so that is communication, right? And what are the things that motivate you? So during an interview, we will also have to find out what are the things that triggers performance in an employee. Maybe, an employee needs a continuous pat on their back and say, yes, you've done very well, you're doing well. Some people need that kind of a kick, right? They need their manager or somebody to continuously keep saying, you're doing well, you need to do this, that. The other person says, I need feedback continuously on my work. Because most of the companies, teams, they don't provide feedback. So the employee is lost. They don't understand where they're heading to, whether they're doing well, they're not doing well. So there are people who want feedback continuously, right? Some people just want to be left alone. Okay, let me just do my work. Don't tell me what is right or wrong, right? So different people come with different mindsets and different kind of motivation triggers. Fine. So we need to understand all that in order to handle a team. You'll find a variety of people. I told you HR is a lot about psychology. Okay, so we'll have to start dealing with different minds. Fine. So we'll also have to try and find out their actual strengths and weaknesses. People generally don't let out their weaknesses and they just talk about their strengths. And you'll find a lot of answers in Google these days how to tactfully answer the question of what is your weakness, right? So nobody lets out their weakness, do they? They don't. They say, okay, I've heard answers like, my weakness is, I try to finish my work so as soon as possible, and my team members get uncomfortable with that. So that is my weakness. It's a very intelligent answer, right? Right? But nobody is going to say like, I'm impatient, I'm in a hurry all the time, I pressurize my team. So actually the thing would be that, but they put it in a way that it sounds like a strength. You'll find a lot of, answers like that in Google, and people learn from that. Okay, so we will actually have to try to find out what is their strengths and weakness. Okay, so what are the common interview questions that you can ask? And there are meanings to it. Okay, so tell me about yourself. You would have heard this very common question, right? Tell me about yourself. So what are we actually trying to know when we ask this question? When we ask someone, tell me about yourself, what are we actually trying to check? What all can we check when the person starts answering? Think about it.
About their educational background.
Okay. So everything that's written in the CV, like where do they belong from, what education, so whatever is written in the CV, but the hidden agenda would be to understand the thought flow of that person. Okay, and check on it is the right time for you to check on their communication skills, right? How well can they build a sentence? You can check on their body language, right? You can check on their interests, their hobbies. So what do they do other than work? Some people are casual, some are, I'm a workaholic. Okay, they say all that, right? And then when you ask them about what they do in their extra time and all that, then you can find out what are their interests really about. So when you ask a simple question, there is a hidden agenda, there is a hidden motive behind this question. I love this question. Tell me about yourself. Though it's very, very common, but still it helps me understand the interviewee so well. Right? The person goes on talking. Okay, you allow that person to talk for 5 minutes and you get so many, right? Fine. So you can just ponder around this particular question. Okay, you can share with me in the next session. What all do you think you can find out when you ask this question to people? Okay, this is my personal, thought around it, that I can collect a lot of information from this question. But what else do you think you can? What kind of information do you think you can gather? Okay, so make a note, and maybe in the next session we can discuss about it. Okay, so another question is, why did you leave your last job? Why did you leave your last job? So what kind of answer are you expecting, or what are you? The answer directly is what? I left for a better opportunity. Okay, if somebody says I left for a better opportunity, what do you understand from that answer?
That he or she was not satisfied with the previous organization or company he or she was working for.
So you need to trigger more questions, like better opportunity means what? Better opportunity in terms of salary, higher salary, or maybe a promotion. Were you stuck there for too long? Were you not being treated well? Okay, so they were looking for a better opportunity, right? So you need to probe more questions after this. Okay, right? So what experience do you have in this field? So we check on the relevant experience. So we are looking for, suppose, 5 years of experience in HR business partnering, and somebody has total 5 years of experience, but does not have entire 5 years in HR business partnering, but has 3 years in recruitment and 2 years in HR business partnering. So all that detailing we'll have to do. So do you consider yourself successful? So when we ask this question, we understand what is the ambition of that person. Okay, we understand the career goals of that person. He or she might say, not according to me, because this is what I desire to do in my life. This is what I aim to do in my career. So there we understand the career goals, and then we understand how dedicatively that person is going to work for us. So now are you understanding the hidden agenda of HRs during interviews? So it might just look very simple and direct questions, but the brain of an HR keeps processing different answers and drawing different conclusions. Isn't it interesting to be an HR?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Fine. So later on, no, you just go through this slide and just keep thinking during your free time. What all answers can you get from these questions? Okay. So what have you done to improve your knowledge in the last year? Are you applying for other jobs? So here, are you applying for other jobs means, is he serious in joining our company only? Is he joining because of employer brand or something else? Okay, so why do you want to work for this organization? Do you know anyone who works for us? So all these questions are very common interview questions. Okay, wherein the interviewer tries to understand the motive of the employees. Do's and don'ts of interviewing. So do not assume anything. When we are taking interviews, okay, we should not assume anything just looking at the person. Okay, we should not assume. If you have any doubts in your mind, then we should ask them instead of just assuming, because it could be a different thing, right? So we should not judge a book by its cover, right? So do not form prejudgments. Okay, somebody would have told you that this candidate is coming, and according to their understanding, they would have drawn an opinion about that person. But do not drag that inside the room when you're talking to the person. Try to understand that person yourself. So do not form prejudgments. Okay, we will have all these references from people a lot, and we will get to know how they perceive this person. Okay, but we will have to do our own understanding. Okay, do ask both open and closed questions. So what is the meaning of open and closed questions?
One is yes or no. The answer involves just yes or no.
Yeah, so that would be a closed
Closed question. Closed
right?
questions. Yes.
So we have to ask them both closed and open-ended questions. So do you live in Bangalore? Answer would be yes, no. Okay. If I ask, why do you like living in Bangalore? Would that have an answer as yes or no? No, that's an open-ended question wherein he or she starts describing, explaining why he likes to live in Bangalore. Right? Okay. So do verify understanding through probing and confirming questions. So we have already discussed about this. Do a lot of probing so that you get correct answers, and do avoid confrontation. Sometimes what happens during an interview, you will have difference in opinion about a certain topic. There will always be difference in opinion between two people, right? But as an interviewer, we should not get into any confrontation. Suppose a person, okay, says, okay, I'm from Darjeeling, okay, and somebody I'm interviewing in Siliguri says Darjeeling is a very dirty place, right? Recent posts we have seen, Yangchen,
Yes.
we have been seeing posts on Insta, I guess. People
Yes, yes.
have been posting about Darjeeling being dirty, right? Now, because I love that
Yes.
place, and some interview is talking about how dirty that place is, I cannot start arguing just because I have an emotional connect with my place.
Mhm.
Okay, so we as interviewer cannot get into any kind of confrontation with the interviewee. Fine, so that is just a small example I'm giving. You might have a difference in opinion about any topic which comes up during the interview, right? So we should avoid that and focus on what is more important. Okay. So do act in a friendly and professional manner. Now we try to give them a comfort zone, make them comfortable so that they answer more comfortably to all our questions. But that doesn't mean we start crossing the line of professionalism. Okay, we have to be professional. At the same time, we'll have to make them comfortable. Okay, now we can't start being pally to them all of a sudden. Can we? No. We might just give a nice smile to them and say, it's okay, just relax. Or you can ask for a glass of water for that person and just talk in a very comfortable way. But we can't just start suddenly laughing with them, talking about, their interests and partying and Saturday nights and all those. Right? So we'll have to know where to draw a line. Okay. So do not interrupt. So when a person is talking, the interviewee is explaining to you about himself, his skills and his knowledge and whatever question you've asked, do not interrupt. Some people have the habit of talking too much. That person can never be an interviewer. You have to get in the habit of listening, which is also comes under effective communication, right? You'll have to be a good listener to be an interviewer. Okay. Do not listen. I'm sorry, do listen actively. Have you come across people where they ask you certain question and they're like, and then they keep doing everything else also, right? They keep browsing the screen and they keep talking also. And then you're sitting in front and like, okay, I'm talking and she's not listening, right? So it's a waste of time for both of the people. Neither is she hearing you out what you're trying to explain, neither are you able to tell her or him what you want to convey. So as an interviewer, we will have to be an active listener. Okay. Do take notes, but do not be obtrusive about it. So during the interview, we will have to note down. So the person will come with the CV. Generally, what I do is at the back of the CV, whatever is not given there in the CV, I just keep writing. So that habit you will have to keep. Okay, why somebody left a job? Will it be written in the CV?
No.
It will not be written. Any achievement given, okay, I achieved this award, but what after that? So any detailing which you think is not mentioned in the CV, you just take down notes which would be relevant for the job. Okay. So do's and don'ts, don't let the interviewee, do's and don'ts of the interviewing, do let the interviewee do most of the talking. Like I told you, you have to listen out. Do establish rapport. Do maintain control over the subject matter. Do not, deviate from the topic. Keep a control of the subject matter. Once something might pop up, but don't go on the flow. Okay, come back to the main subject matter. Okay, then do establish a time frame for the interview and stick to it. So don't make it too lengthy. Some people, they take interviews for hours together, 2 hours, 3 hours. 2 hours is still, understandable. 3 hours, 3.5 hours, half of the day, oh my God. I become very impatient even if I'm going as an interview. I've just got up once. I said, okay, now I need to leave. Okay, so nobody has the entire day, right? They would have scheduled their day for certain other activities. So as an interviewer, you will have to stick to the time frame. Okay, and do conclude positively. So never give a very negative impact or negative kind of a impact to the interviewee. Just say, okay, we will get back to you as soon as possible. If you cannot give your decision in the same time, just tell them we will be in touch with you. Somebody from the HR department will be in touch with you. Okay, and do be polite and courteous. So do not, walk with your wings around. A lot of people after joining HR department, what happens is they walk around as if they own the company. Okay, so this attitude must calm down. Okay, so they have the chip on the shoulder. Right, so I am from the HR department, but the main motive of an HR is to be more close to the management, not only to the management but also to the employees. So we at all times have to be polite and courteous. Now polite does not mean you behave in a very friendly manner. You have to be polite but firm in what you say. Okay, and you always have to keep, no matter how friendly people are with you, you have to keep the management information, any information related to the company, to yourself only. Okay, this is an extra tip that I'm giving you. Okay, so you have to keep it only to yourself. A lot of people come to talk to HRs to build rapport for this particular motive. Okay, andar ki baat pata chalegi, so we'll get to know a lot of secret things, what is happening in the company. Okay, so we are we kind of are the mitigators between the management and the employees, the human resources. So we'll have to be very careful in what information we are letting out to both the parties. Certain employees, they come and they resort to us because they can confide to us. They feel, okay, I'm confident talking to this person, and they feel like it's not going to leak out to the management. So we should not. We should live up to their expectations. In the same way, management also, they will share a lot of information which is sensitive. So we should, just because people are friends to us, we cannot let it out. So the position of an HR is that of a very, very responsible position. Okay, so we'll have to act very responsibly. Fine. So this is for the interviewee. These tips are for the interviewee: knowing the company before you go for the interview, confirm important details, and switching off the mobile phone. So it is for the interviewer and the interviewee. Interviewer may not switch off the phone, but keep it on silent mode. And while you're doing a handshake with the interviewee, make sure it is a firm grip, which talks a lot about your personality. Okay. And body language, not only as an interviewee, but it is important as an interviewer also. We check on our body language. Okay. And job offer, see, until and unless you are really sure about this person whom you're going to hire, do not say we will offer you this much. Okay, so you might want to look into other profiles also, like around 4 or 5 profiles for the same role. So as soon as you get to meet a person, do not talk about the salary or the job offer. Okay, until and unless you are really sure. You would want to discuss more about it with your seniors, right? So only then you communicate to the candidate. Fine. So this is about interview. Did you guys ever think it's going to be such a lengthy session on interviews? Not it's just interview. Sit across the table and you keep talking, right? But as an HR, there's so many things that you need to consider. Do you agree?
Yes. I never knew that they have so much of responsibility.
Yeah, the most interesting part is the hidden agenda behind each question, no?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I would really appreciate if you go through that slide and try to share what you think you can conclude out of each question and share it with me. You can take it as an assignment if you want, all 3 of you. Okay, so that will
Okay.
help you understand because it is important. See, it's not just a very superficial question. As I told you, the first one, tell me about yourself. Okay, so just because I just want to know about that person, come on, everything is written in the CV, right? But I can draw so many conclusions from it, right? So just go through that slide and take it as your first assignment. Check what all you can try and figure out from each of the questions. Okay, so we still have 10 minutes. Would any of you want to do the interview today? Or are you guys already very tired? Shobna is giving me a smile. What should I understand from that? Not me, please. I want to go watch TV or Netflix. What about Suman?
We
You're
can give
already very tired. Did you have a session today?
We can give a try.
You can give
Sorry,
it a try.
ma'am?
Did you have a session
We
to
can-
take
we can.
today? Did you have class today?
Oh yes, ma'am. Yes. I
Okay.
have this. I have my class in the morning, so
Okay.
just 2 classes. Yeah.
Okay. So what about Yanchin? Would you want to go for it or you want to keep it for the next session?
Anything?
Okay. So
Most of
Yanchin,
Yes.
so Yanchin will be the interviewer. Okay. And who's going to be the interviewee? You have to answer her
Sure.
questions. You have to answer her questions. Okay. Yes, Shobna or Suman. Come on. Be a sport.
Okay, I'll be the
Sure.
interview.
Okay, Shobna. So fine. Yanchin, you are interviewing her for which position? For HR executive?
Okay, HR executive.
Okay, fine. So you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Okay, start Yanchin.
Hello, Shobna.
Hello, ma'am.
So tell me about yourself.
Okay. So, I'm Shobna and I'm originally from Darjeeling. I did my schooling from Sikkim and then graduations in mass communication. And then I pursued my master's from Bangalore. Then I did internships and I worked a while in Guwahati for a while. And then I got an opportunity to do MPhil in Sikkim University. So then I got hold of that opportunity and I went to pursue that. And then after the completion of my MPhil, I did a course in visual effects. So that's what, because I was interested that time in visual effects. So like I started doing that.
Okay. So what are your hobbies? What do you do in your free time?
I have a couple of hobbies, like I like to write. I like to read as well. Mostly I read fiction more than non-fiction, but sometimes I switch towards non-fiction as well. And then I paint as well. And as I was doing visual effects, so I got interested in doing vector art. It's a form of digital art. So I started pursuing that as well. And most of the time I like to learn new things, like using painting with watercolors or acrylic paints as well. So those are mostly my hobbies, and singing as well.
Oh, you must be having a wonderful voice then. So what are the few authors you like reading?
Okay. I loved Khalid Hosseini because I mean, I read his book And the Mountains Echoed, and it was so touching. And the way it's been written is so descriptive. And I mean, even if we haven't gone to Afghanistan, it gives such a beautiful picture of Afghanistan, and I can imagine how it would be. So that's how I love his writings, Khalid Hosseini, and Paulo Coelho as well, because it's metaphysical and spiritual as well, Paulo Coelho. And then I loved To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Means one of the best I found. So that's what they are, my favorite authors.
Okay. So why did you choose our company?
Because I am interested in human resource, though like means I okay.
Okay,
So,
what is
like,
the nature of your company, Yanchin? Just for our information, general information, so that she knows what to answer. What is the nature of the company that you're working for which you're interviewing?